I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad, I've punched him a few more times.
5 blokes outside my front door, can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Valas here in Nottingham. We've had the weigh-in. 24 hours out, really, from showtime. Sean O'Hagan joins me. Thanks for giving me some of your time, mate. How are we?
We're absolutely bang on.
Good. Maxi Hughes fight week, and I said this to Maxi, and I'll start with the same question to you. That whole Cinderella tag kind of gone now, because it's not just a couple of good wins and kind of a reformed career. This is someone who is fighting at world level now.
Absolutely, and you know, Maxi's there on merit. I think it's us 6 or 7 fights together now. But he's slowly seasoned at lightweight now. And like I say, a little bit of momentum behind us. Who knows where he can finish up.
Was it kind of awkward, the build-up for you? Because, again, when I spoke to Maxi about this, I said to him, just kind of put in chronological order how we ended up with you fighting Kid Galahad, because there was so much going on about who he could fight, with the messages from Ryan Garcia, then Linares, and we've ended up here. Is it annoying as a trainer, because you've got 3 fighters kind of listed there who are very different, and you want time to prepare for big fights like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we look at him, Maxi, he's a consummate professional. So he's always in some sort of kind of decent shape. Maxi's style of fighting, really, it's that he can adjust, he can adapt. He's very, very durable as a fighter. And, you know, I don't think this is too much of a... It's not too much of a change for us. I mean, it should have been Garcia, and it should have been Linares, we mentioned, and now it's Barry. But to be honest with you, Maxi never ever stops preparing. He's always in the gym, keeps himself ticking over. He does all the bare essentials. So it was a case of when we found out it was Barry, really polishing him up and putting finishing touches to.
Is it strange for you that you're kind of back fighting, or having a fight Kid Galahad, when of course you had the massive rivalry with Josh and Barry?
Well, yeah, it's not strange really, listen. It's just boxing, isn't it? I mean,
something you didn't expect, though, I guess, when you've got him moving up 2 weight.
I don't think anybody expected him coming up 2 weights. I think we expected him coming up a weight, maybe. But then to announce that he was coming up 2 weights, and wanting to fight us, then, yeah, so I suppose it was a little bit of a surprise. But, you know, it's one of them, what you've got to remember, it's boxing, and boxing's competitive. You know, Barry's a very, very good fighter. Again, might not be a style that we like or we teach, but it is very, very effective. You know, can't knock him. It's just boxing, isn't it, really, you know? That's how it is.
I know he's kind of had a lot to say in terms of the levels that they've previously fought. Look, both men have defeats. Of course, Kid Galahad's are both at world level. I know one of the comments he said, where does Maxi get his confidence from? Just kind of your take on that comment, because I know Maxi said he's kind of dismissing his career and his recent wins, in a sense.
Yeah, I think he is, really. I mean, all that business, I noticed that he came out with 1 or 2 comments about Maxi quitting against Martin J. Ward. You know, if we're going to make a comment, then let's make it accurately. Maxi didn't ask him to pull him out. It was his trainer that made a decision and pulled him out. And I think as trainers, that's what we're responsible for. You know, it's trainers really that are open for criticism. And I include myself in that. You know, there's been times where maybe I should have pulled a fighter. There's been times where I've pulled them and I should have left them in. But, you know, if you're going to come out with a statement, then make sure you get it accurate. You know, it's one of them where it weren't just a bloody nose that he had, Maxi. It were quite badly damaged, you know. So it was his corner that decided he couldn't go on.
And just one more thing on this fight. Are you looking at it from the perspective that a win here is kind of the final win to get you the big one? Because yes, Ryan Garcia said he was open to fighting Maxi, we know that. And that's a big money fight. But is a win against Kid Galahad and potentially stopping Kid Galahad even, is that the one that gets Maxi this mega fight?
I think them big fights are going to come anyway. I think what you've got to do is you've got to be patient. You've got to wait your turn. You've got to take whatever opportunities come along, you know. And let's face it, you know, regardless of who we fight, they're all big fights, aren't they? I mean, I know what you're saying in regard financially, big fights. Of course, we all want to earn a few more quid, don't we? But, you know, in the meantime, we're not in a bad position. You know, it's decent money fighting Galahad. And, yeah, we've got to get past him, but I think once we've got past him, then there's nobody else domestically, is there? So it's got to be, I would suppose, a kind of big fight, bigger name.
Actually, I said that was the last question. Just one more thing. Obviously, he is coming off the back of a devastating stoppage defeat. The amount of fighters you've looked after in your time, you would have taken fighters, and well, with Josh as well. We had the defeat against Lara that you've had to come through and step back in the ring. So, just kind of from a perspective-wise, do you think, and none of us know because we're not in Kid Galahad's head, but do you think it could be really tough stepping through the ropes, not having had one to prepare for a fight of this level?
I think so, but then again, at some point, you know, I did it with my own lad, didn't I? Did it with Josh. He had that, like you said, devastating loss against Lara. And then our next fight were Lara again. So it didn't end the way that anybody wanted it to end. But listen, Barry's a professional, and Dominic's been about for a long, long time. They know what they're doing. You know, there's a lot of time there that they can spend in gym. There's a lot of time to prepare, and I believe a lot of it's in your preparation, isn't it? You know, now you obviously know what they're doing prep-wise, and like I say, Barry's a professional. He's a good fighter, so I don't think there's any problems with that. I think he'll come in a little bit best version of Barry that comes tomorrow night. You know.
Josh obviously won the world title back with that win over Kiko Martinez, suffered the jaw injury as well, and was that kind of frustrating for you guys in a sense? Because there was a part of Josh's career when he won the world title first time where it was so much momentum, he was flying into fights, and I know you would have wanted to do the same again, but then the jaw injury sets you back. So was it kind of, yes, we've got the world title back, but our momentum's going to get cut again?
No, I don't think so. I think, I mean, initially when it happened, we thought, yeah, here we go again. You know, we've had the couple of years with COVID, we had the loss. But again, you just got to wait your turn, you've got to stay in line, you've got to stay on track and stay focused, really. I mean, I think his second performance against Kiko was better than his first one against Kiko. And broken jaws are just part and parcel of the game, aren't they, and injuries, you know. It's, like I say, he's a big hitter, he's Kiko. I don't think people realise that he's a puncher. All right, getting world title back, but we finished up with a broken jaw. And then, of course, what he did to Barry. I mean, in all fairness, everyone's saying, oh, he got knocked out by Kiko. Well, yeah, he did, but when you sit and look at that fight and you look at that shot, I think if he hit anybody on chin with that shot, it would have absolutely perfectly timed shot, wouldn't it? You know, and regardless of who he'd have hit and caught clean with that, they were going to go. You know, so I don't read so much into him getting knocked out by Kiko. How it affects him mentally, you know, I don't think it'll affect him as bad as everybody's thinking. I think what may be an issue for him, and this is not me sitting here saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that to him, because boxing, we've learned anything can happen. I think the two weights could be an issue. I really do. So we'll see tomorrow night, won't we? We'll know soon enough.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's a really, really intriguing fight between Maxi and Barry. Yeah, just continuing on with Josh, obviously, there was so much talk around that time of him and Lee, and then bringing the two cities fans together, Nottingham and Leeds. It would have been a seriously big event. Obviously, Lee now not fighting on this card, disappointingly. But I heard there's potential for Josh to fight, I think he's IBF mandatory, that Jose Lopez, who we saw knock out Isaac Lowe. Is there any update that you could give us potentially on that?
Luis Alberto Lopez, I think there's been a date early in December being bandied about. From what I understand, it's more or less done. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be back in action December, and I would imagine, nobody's said anything to me yet, nothing's been confirmed, but I would imagine that would be, it makes sense to go in Leeds. And then hopefully we'll get past him, and I say hopefully because we don't take anything for granted anymore. If we get past him, then maybe a unification with him and Lee. Maybe in spring or early summer.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Obviously, it would be tunnel vision for Lopez, and you can't look past people, as you said. But I think him and Lee, of course, Lee is going to fight Mauricio before Christmas. But I think him and Lee is it is the one to make, isn't it, in this country?
Well, I think so, yeah. I think it makes sense. You've got a couple of world champions that are an hour apart. You know what I mean? So I think it does make sense, that fight, yeah.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more
There's 5
times.
blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.